Life is sad. It sucks. It hurts. Take away fucking narcotics and medications and it hurts a hell of a lot worse. Or serotonin inhibitor uptakes. Antidepressants. Take all them fucking pills away and I don't want that sock shit behind me. And see how it feels to be raw. Come off of Xanax, lorazepam, clonazepam, that benzodiazepines that you take along with not only yourself but your mother and your siblings. Make yourself raw. The song's on right now. It says, I need your understanding. That means I need your complete understanding, your unconditional fucking love. I just told you that I am so raw from not only my life. You lose your dad when you're 6. You start being molested when you're fucking 7. And you live the life I've led. Okay, you tell your mom when you're 12 that you were being molested. To have her look at her husband and say, what the fuck is she talking about? And that little 6-year-old girl who is now 12 is so fucking tarnished. She is crippled by Crohn's disease and on steroids. And she runs in that room and what do? You fucking stand there and you look at that man and you say, what the fuck is she talking about? I'll tell you what she was talking about. Mom, Anita. She's talking about what that fucking asshole Johnny did to her. And how dare you and he, your husband, never my fucking stepfather nor father, how dare you sweep it under the rug on Richmond? You do that. You swept it under the rug. Disown him. Throw Yvette out. She's being molested too, and I told you that, and you know what you said? She was old enough to know better. Coming from a house she did in Bridgeport, where her mother burned her with cigarettes and left scars and stabbed her with fucking forks to where she has twine marks in her arms, and she's now the mother of 2 beautiful teenagers. And you tell me she knew better? You wonder why I didn't disown you before I did at the age of 42 in February. Because I should have disowned you a long time ago. Yeah. You taught me how to color. You taught me how to look out for other people's kids. Because you were a crossing guard for almost 20 years and everybody loves you. All those kids loved you. But you know what? You suck at mothering your own kids. You suck. And I used to think the same thing of myself. Well, you know what? Not anymore. Because I've gotten some help, Mom. Unlike you, I'm not sitting in the corner of a fucking front room in the dark anymore, all drugged up, calling my sick daughter, who is prescribed these prescription drugs because they have had multiple surgeries, 7, 8, one of which you have been at when I almost died this last year. Or no, excuse me, a year in December. And you did come for that surgery. And then you left as usual. Well, guess what? This kid here that you would call for the last 3 years and ask for Vicodin because you hurt so bad. This kid, this little girl that you were mind fucking is done. Done. It took somebody to tell me at the age of 42, after seeing at least 8 fucking psychiatrists, psychologists since I was in my late 20s, because I thought something was wrong with me and the way I was. Yeah, there was. It was a direct result of my upbringing. The upbringing that you were supposed to be in charge of. Well, I broke the cycle. Not only am I off of drugs, not only am I not self-medicating, but my ass is off the fucking couch. And I have some gloves on, and they're fucking boxing gloves. And if the man I'm living with is going to brace me when it comes to my 2 kids, you better be fucking ready to be laying on that goddamn ground. And we won't even go there when I fucking blasphemize your God and all your Bible readings. You can have a library, a room full of books. You know, that room where we would have nice carpet, and if I was done and ready to die, or you were ready to die, that we could just both go in that same room and die. Or how about, I'm just so tired of this, Tracy. We should just both fucking go drive off a cliff. How many times have you said those sick shitting things to me, you bitch? You never have ever been locked up. 3 times this kid's got. 3 times I swallowed all of my fucking pills. The 4th time a shrink deemed me mentally unsafe. That was back in 2009, I think, in December, when I had a partial bowel obstruction in the hospital. You never fucking came and seen me. No, you did not. So then for 7 days, I got locked up. And we wonder why I'm sitting here right now. Well, I'm getting way off track as usual. So, I'm going to end this by saying this. The best thing I could have done was to walk into Dr. Redmond's office back in February. The best thing is that I was ready. I was at a point in my life where I couldn't hit the ground any harder or any lower than I was. It's not only you and what you have done to me, because you set the dominoes up, bitch. And I'm going to call you a bitch because that's what I feel like you are. You set those dominoes up back when I was little. I don't know if it was for leaving my dad, because you know what? Sadly, I don't know anything about that man. Maybe he did run around. Maybe he had no morals like I've been told. But I'm sure he had love. And you turned your back on that, and you chose, Anita, to move in with a man who had disowned his children prior to your relationship with him. You chose a man whose son molested me, okay? You chose to stand next to that man instead of walking into that bedroom when that 12-year-old girl needed you. And then you continued to turn your back on that situation through my whole life. You didn't share any of my father with me. Thank God for social networking, because I've had people that I have been able to reach out to on Kelly High School's webpage that told me that my dad was the star of the fucking show. And thank you for doing that, by the way. I've had Joe Slaby stand up and tell me what kind of a father I had. You kept me away from my father's family. You kept me away from my father. I will never forgive you for that either. I will never forgive you. And you really think a lot of yourself to tell our poor Christy Marie, so sad you are, pathetic. Call her up and tell her, you know what, Christy, tell Tracy not to call me because I'm not really ready to talk to her. When I'm the one that discontinued any kind of contact with you in February after my second appointment with a psychologist. I reached out to you for my sister's sake. And you know what? For you to call her and then have her call me on such a horrible day for her, when poor Kyle had labs at a hospital, and you know how worked up Christy Marie was. How dare you call her and involve her in your sickness, in your fucking darkness. And I thank my sister Melissa who you have tried your hardest, your very hardest, to harden my heart towards. And you call and you tell me not to call the house, call my cell phone, because if it's Melissa on the line, I'm not answering it. But to then talk to Melissa after I quit talking to you and tell her the things that she has said to me, things that you have said to me in the past, to her, only to find out that, you know what, you are so sick and twisted that you were telling her, call me on my cell phone, because if I see it's Tracy, I don't want to deal with her shit, and I'll answer you if it's on my cell phone. Yeah, this is going on Facebook, Anita. And then the next thing I post on here is going to be for John. That would be John Bertel. John Edward Bertel. Senior. The one that came from Texas that grew up in a fucking orphanage for all we know. You know what? You want to know why I think I keep every piece of paper? It's because I want to document my fucking life. Because so much of it is oppressed, repressed, that when it was ready to come out, which it is now, and I have been taking fucking names. I might have lost the numbers, but I got the names. You were the one at the top of the list. John Edward Bertel Sr. is number 2. And the next video I make is going to address what a pussy he is. What a fucking pussy. And the moral of the story is, sadly, is that only the good die young. And Dad, may you be resting in peace in that Club 27 you escaped to. I miss that club, Mom, but you weren't there. 1997, you took my kids. Where was I? In a hospital, almost dead of a fucking abscess. 1997, I would have been 27. I would have been in that club with my father, where all the bright, brilliant, caring, giving, loving people have gone because they've been burnt out by the likes of you. Yeah, Dad died when he was 27. Might have been, might not have been, because you left his ass when he needed you the most. You jumped ship and you grabbed onto part 2 of this story of my life, which I can't even write because I can't even keep a thought. But you know what? I can run my mouth with the best of them. So the moral of this story is, it ain't over till the skinny girl sings. And thanks, Mom, for helping me lose all the weight. You're so sad. I was sad. But now I'm glad. Because I know that I might have screwed up as a mom, but I've righted those wrongs. And I caught them head on. What happened to my kids won't happen to me. I broke the cycle. They might have had a couple screwed up years since the divorce, but I broke a cycle because I left when I should have. As I'm leaving this relationship of 6 years, as I should. Because don't brace me when it comes to my kids. Don't you ever brace me when it comes to my kids. Because they are my flesh, my blood, my heart, my soul. And I am going to let myself go of the anger and the guilt I felt for what I've inflicted on them. The sickness that I've allowed bleed onto them. Because I didn't have control of it. I didn't come with those instructions. I didn't have any direction. But now my daughter, Got an invitation in the mail today from the mayor of the town we live in, because she is an outstanding citizen. And I have a dinner to go to on May 7th. You missed out on all those because you know what? You didn't take care of this baby bird. The one who was in the spelling bees. The one that frickin' stood up and had oratory poems that she said on stage. The kid that went to the... Oh, Jesus, I forgot. The Museum of Science and Industry in grade school. Because her science project was such of high caliber. I don't think maybe you did make a brief appearance there. I don't even remember it. Because I don't have a picture or anything to remember it by. Like everything else in my life. I've had to photograph everything. Because you sucked at it. You suck so bad that I think my sister Melissa should make a video about where did I come from. No pictures of her and Dad. Wait, there's like one and it's real blurry. And there's a second one I had a friend paint for me by taking 2 photos. One of my father, the man who loved you, and one of my sister and I dressed up like Bobbsey twins when you were pretending to be a mother. And he took that photo and that photo of Dad, and he painted through his mind what he thought 2 daughters would look like with their father if he were alive. So Melissa has that picture. No thanks to you, of course. And no, I'm not even going to give you an ounce of anything. I used to say, you know what? She can't help it. That's how she was raised. She had 2 alcoholics for parents. She ran away when she was a teenager and came to live with her sister. I gave you so many excuses. I probably gave you excuses you never even thought of for yourself. No more. You don't even deserve the time I've just spent on this fucking computer. But you know what? It's not for you. It's for me. It's my road to recovery from not only a hellacious childhood, but a hellacious last 4 years addicted to narcotics. That's hardcore addicted. We won't go back... the 15, well, let's see, 1991, 21 years ago is when I had my colon and my rectum removed and I ended up with a permanent bag on my stomach. That probably started out the addiction to pain meds and benzodiazepines and sleeping pills and everything else. But 4 years of hardcore drugs, fentanyl patches, morphine, Dilaudid, and you have the nerve to call me and make me feel bad because I'm not bringing you any more Vicodin when you're chewing 8 to 12 a day, you sick bitch. I get by with 3. And then, you know what I'm talking about too, and don't you pretend you don't. Then for you to call me and put me in a place that is not healthy and want me to go get you fucking Vicodin because you hurt. And when I wouldn't give you that number, you said, give it to me, I will call and ask. You know what you did? You fucking sold me out, bitch. You'd sell your kid out to fucking feed your addiction. And you know what? I know why you're addicted, because you can't live with yourself. I feel like I can't live with myself for the few things I've done wrong. The morals that I have not had. And I feel like fucking being dead right now. You bitch should feel dead. You talk to your God about that tonight when you fucking try to fall asleep. Bye. To myself, because that's not even bye to you. You don't deserve a goodbye. You don't deserve the air you fucking breathe. So why don't you do us all a fucking favor Yeah, that F-bomb. Wonder who I learned that from growing up. Every other word out of my mother's mouth was fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, fuck that. Whatever, 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 Tracy, whatever, Missy. And fucking throw your finger up to that basement door as he leaves. Why don't you tell it to his face, Anita? That's what I've been doing. I don't like what I'm being told. I say, fuck you. And you're lucky that I have not tried to call your ass in regards to Christy's trip downtown and how you called her and said for me not to call you until you were ready. Huh. You know what, Mom? Fuck you. Oops, there's that habit again. Mom? No. See, I catch myself, and it's going to take a while. You know what? All I have to say is good luck. Because I am not an evil person like you. I'm a strong mother of two beautiful children. And they're going to move on in this lifetime knowing that their mom is not addicted to drugs. And if they have children, I'm going to be a great grandma. I'm going to be there for those kids. And I will not allow my kids to make the mistakes I made because I was misguided. No. I'm there to hold my kids up. In good times and in bad times. And if they want to share a Christmas with me, full well knowing that I am here on this earth by the grace of whatever goodness, not God, is in this world, that I lived past 1997 at the age of 27. If they want to invite me to their house at Christmas, I'm going to fucking be there. I don't care if I have diarrhea or vomits coming out my nose. I will be at my kid's house, sharing what you think everybody has forgotten about the meaning of, which is Christmas. It's a time that you're supposed to spend with loved ones. That's all it is. It's not about the gifts. Maybe about some good food and some good company. Sadly, you sit on that couch and you wait for that sick asshole in the other room that you sit with a glass door divided between the two of you. You sit there in that front room and you let him dictate your life like you have. And shame on him because you've dictated his life too. It doesn't take one person to fuck up a life. It takes two. Two. And I see why he is so venomous towards me. He doesn't like when people brace him. And when I left when I was 17, when I ran away, I done braced that man for the last time. Because I had a mother who sat there while that man stood there at the age of 17. And she ignored me like she had for the past prior 5 years when I told her I was being molested. Guess what? I think that day I snapped, that day when I was 17, maybe it was my dad reaching out and saying, "Run, kid, run. Get the fuck out of that house. Run so far and fast that you don't even know where you end up. You're going to be so dizzy." Because that's what life's about. And you know what? If you even watch this, you might want to warn your husband. You know, John Edward Bertel I, that this crazy, want to know everything, investigative bitch, that he despises, who stood next to you and said, 3 years ago, or 2 was it? "How long is she going to be here? I don't want to smell her stench." And you stood there and you listened to that and didn't say a word to that man, if anybody had said that to myself in front of my child in regards to my child, I'd probably be in fucking jail right now because I would have ripped his face off. How's that? I've spanned 44 years, no, 46, 6. I just spanned 40 years of my lifetime in a video. And if anybody can keep up with it, it basically equates to this. I, Tracy Lee Sickler, born February 22nd, 1972, Anita Kale and Bruce Sickler, lost her dad when she was 6, and he wasn't fucking perfect by any means. And my mom was too young maybe to have had a child. How she reached out to a man at the time I was 6 and fled ship and went to him. And what has transpired since then. And why I'm sitting in a garage at 7:35 on April 30th, 2012, wondering, before I started this video, why I was so angry and despondent feeling, why I felt like killing myself today of all days. I bury that in my mind. I never speak those words. I felt that today so strongly when I awoke. The feeling that I did not want to be alive. That I'm done mothering my children when I receive an invitation in the mail while at my darkest, a boy runs up the walkway and puts something in my mailbox, and I get up and I say, "Excuse me." He said, "There's a letter in your box, your mailbox, for your daughter. It's about the Honor Society." And I opened that envelope up to find an invitation, like I said, from the mayor of the town of Midlothian, inviting myself and my daughter to a special dinner to recognize that child. That child that is a part of me, the good part of me, the good part of TLC, the one that gave her last fucking piece of candy to you when I was 2. That is where I was at. And I felt the need to share it with you so maybe you can feel as sick as I do. Not what you think you feel is sick, bitch. You think sitting on that couch and chewing up your pills is sick? You think telling me that your dad did something to your mom that you saw is sick? Way to go, tell me that December 2011, after I've been through what? You trying to rectify your wrongs? Nothing, Anita, will ever rectify your wrongs. The only thing you ever did good in this world is you brought 5 kids into it. Like a cat. You had a litter. That's all you had, was a litter of kids. And you left them feral. The eldest is hanging on by a thread. The second one lives 16 years now away, and you've never even visited her. I haven't either, but that's not what I'm trying to say. The second, my blood sister, full blood, is addicted to drugs. She's so twisted in her mind, has no sense of self, was picked on as a child because of her eye. You allowed that man to put her down mentally and fucking physically pummel her on her back while you stood there and leave a bruise in her back of her bra strap, or knock her through her closet door after I ran away when I was 17? And that will be addressed in my next video, you fucker. You touched my sister. You fat son of a bitch. And then you had dear Christy in the middle. Of all the melee, the middle child. She's my doppelganger. Because you want to know why? I'm the one that put her to bed. I'm the one that sang her to sleep. I'm the one who dressed her for school. I'm the one who rescued that child as a teenager and brought her to northern Wisconsin every year I could. She knew my son was born on her birthday. She's a mother hen. She came up north and she babysat and helped me unclutter my life as I helped her escape from what could have been her life. Sadly, your fourth child, Amanda, and she's a strong one. She lives upstairs from you. She rents out the flat upstairs. And I think she tries to stay away from you as much as possible. Comes down to do her laundry. You still do it, as you do Sarah's. But that's the last child. I haven't gotten her yet. Amanda, yeah. I can't really say a lot about her because I don't know a lot about her. Other than that, I love her. And I don't know what her evils are. Not her evils, her I don't know what her devils are, what she fights, because we don't speak much. And I think you like that. I think you do. All I know is that she's strong, and she's loving, and she has reached out to Caitlin and I since we've been here. And then there's Sarah, the last child that you slept in her bedroom with from the time I moved out until the time she was too old to have you in there. And then you witch moved to the couch. That's so sad, and we wonder why Sarah's messed up. And Sarah, if you see this, you can deny that you're messed up or not. And sweetie, I love you. I always will. You're my little sister. I might not agree with how you speak not only to her, and how dare I judge you for speaking to her like I have, because like you said a long time ago, you don't live here. And I didn't live there because I was smart enough to run when I was 17. So shame on me for judging you. I guess that's just the old-fashioned part of TLC that thinks that kids and or people over the age of 18 who live in their parents' homes should have respect. And if you're going to talk to anybody, it should be out of respect. And I judged you for speaking to her like you did. Shame on me. Shame on me. And what happened back in December between you and I, Sarah, sadly I know now, because you have been subjected to the life in that house that you have lived. You moved away for not even a month. And you're 29 years now? And you still came home to do your laundry and to get food. And now you're back, still living at home. And I've never, ever, Sarah, seen or heard of you in a healthy relationship with a male. Or a female. I would hope it was a male, but I don't know. I don't know you either. I've tried to. And I've tried to quite hard touch out to you. You chose not to come here on Christmas Eve. And I will take part of that by not formally inviting you. But I have to apologize because our family is kind of fucked up that way. we should be able to get together on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but because your dad, yours, sadly, his personality, I see, from your actions, has bled into your soul, as well as the worst of our mothers. So we won't ever have a sistership. Sadly, my daughter has 3 aunts from my side. You had her number. You could have Facebook messaged her if she defriended you and talked to her. She's pretty fucking smart, Sarah. She didn't choose to defriend you because of my lead. As I would say, as I sit here shaking, I am so shaking. She didn't defriend you because of me and my influences. You can use that as an excuse. Why don't you just come out and say the same thing that our mother should have said? You just don't really give a fuck. Or you don't care to give a fuck. That's it. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go metal detecting and see if I can stop shaking instead of taking a pill. And then I'm gonna come home and take a shower. A hot shower, because my sister, who I love, Christy, tells me that even if you took one shower earlier and it was hot, and you're stressed out and you're in pain, Trace, go take another hot shower. Now I know why Christy takes so many showers. I used to think it was her OCD. So then I'm going to come back on here in a clear state of mind, because I just purged onto this wonderful little camera on my computer a lot of darkness and bullshit that I've been carrying inside of me, that I need to leave behind, the baggage. And I keep telling myself in my recovery, just leave it behind, just leave it alone. Don't think of those things. And I was doing that until I woke up today at 3:30 and felt like killing myself. Out of nowhere, I was blindsided, as Mike would say, thinking I was doing so good in my recovery, trying to reach out and help those that are in my life that really care about me, keeping myself occupied by helping others. And also helping myself. I'm not saying I was only helping others, but I thought I was pretty strong since February, since before. But when I woke up today, and within 30 minutes of being awake, I wanted to be dead. I thought my mothering was done. Literally. That my ex-husband, he could pick up the pieces. Because he always has. Because he came from a family that, yes, did have alcoholics in it, but they cared about one another. And there was enough of them to band together to make a family. And that's why I ended up with Michael, Steve, and Jans. And I sat here and I started talking about what I didn't know, but what ended up being the biggest cancer in my fucking soul. You. So now I'm done with you. And unlike my friends keep telling me, Tracy, you have to forgive your mother. You have to forgive her, or you're never going to be healthy. You have to believe in God. You have to feel sorry for her and forgive her. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's sick. She's an addict. I don't have to forgive you for anything. Never again. I could but feel sorry for you. That's all I can do, because I only wish death on one person, and he's sitting in jail right now. You were not a direct result of that hit, of my leaving my father. Yes, you were, and possibly of his death. But the direct hit came from your husband's son, who is now sitting in prison for penetrating his own daughter. You should have stopped. You should have stopped it when I was 12. Because sadly, I carried guilt when I found out what my perpetrator had done to his child for not standing up, stepping up when I moved here in 2007, and going to the police. You fucked up, lady. And you live with it in your darkness, in your little couch, while I will feel pity for your ass. I, on the other hand, have 2 kids that I am going to be here for. I love them, and I'm not fucking just taken off like my dad did. I want to be around and be happy. And anything that comes from my kids is happiness. And it's going to carry me. They are the one beneath my wings. And you didn't take that from me. You inadvertently tried to, but you didn't take that from me. Thanks for giving birth to me. Because that's all you are, is the womb that carried me. Fuck you, Anita.